Hello, my name is Tim Nyquist. My wife and I have lived, studied, and taught cross-culturally for 25 years. We have learned a lot about culture. On the surface, cultures are comprised of different sights, sounds, smells, tastes. But in this study, I want to dive deeper into how cultures represent two different ways of thinking. And those two different ways we've kind of labeled and categorized as Western versus non-Western. Western, because it was developed by a country that was west of the old world, and that was Greece. So that is, for today, the Western thinking would be Greek-founded, Greek-based. Whereas in the non-Western would be the old world, which the culture I know the most about in the old world would be the Hebrew culture. So that is what we label it as Western, non-Western, which would be Greek-based versus the Hebrew-based. From our experience, we have identified 21 different cultural differences between the Western, non-Western, between the Greek and the Hebrew, in their mindsets, in the way that they think. And I just want to share some example of those differences. One would be the system that we live in. In my culture, the Western culture, we've been developed into thinking that we live in a closed system, meaning that it's a natural world, and we may believe in the supernatural, but the natural world is a closed system that operates under natural laws, and that it's consistent, it's uniform. Whereas in the non-Western world, they don't believe in that separation. They believe that the separation is between the Creator and that which was created, and that those created spirits and powers have influence over their physical world. What that does is on the next level is the authority. Where does the authority reside? And for Westerners, we're cultivated with the authority internal to ourselves. We have the authority to make decisions. We have the authority to go different ways to get to truth on our own human reasoning. Whereas on the non-Western, their authority is external to them. And they look to their authority for reason, for truth, and for permission. And so that is a big difference when we're thinking about teaching and communicating, is where is the authority based, internally or externally? Then we go down into how that develops the character of the person. And for having an internal authority, that makes me more independent. I'm an independent thinker. I'm an independent mover. I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to seek from an outside authority as to what I'm going to do. We're more independent, whereas the non-Westerner tends to be more dependent upon the community, dependent upon that external authority for permission to do what they're going to do. What that also generates now is a different attitude within the character, which is one of myself being independent. It makes me more competitive. And so because I am competing against others within a closed system on my same level against my human reason, so that makes it kind of a more competitive atmosphere, whereas in the non-Western side, it's more of a cooperative. It's a community that is rising up among itself to please and try to seek the truth from that external authority. What that also brings into my area, which is education, was they also have different ways of processing information. One is auditory. The Westerners tend, through their educational system, be auditory processors, whereas the non-Westerner is more visual processing. And that changes how we think. Actually, physically, how we think. And so all these combined bring into a way of just seeing the world really differently, distinctly. And without taking those into consideration, we can really jeopardize communication, and the comprehension can be very low. We've developed these into materials, into seminars that can be given in an evening, could be given over a weekend, or a full semester. If interested in more information about the topic and about what we can offer, please contact us at the information given.